Today on Studio 18 Live, presented by Old Venice Pizza Company, we'll be discussing the Egg Bowl, the Immaculate deflection, and more with Billy Brewer. To join the conversation, tweet your questions using hashtag Studio18, or you can email your questions to studio18@olemiss.edu. Here now are Michael Thompson, AD for Marketing and Communications, and this week's guest, Ole Miss Hall of Famer, Billy Brewer.
Welcome to Studio 18 Live, presented by Old Venice Pizza Company. We've got a very special guest for the show this week. It's Egg Bowl week. We've got Coach Billy Brewer back here on campus and is our special guest on Studio 18 Live. But before we get to Coach Brewer, this week's Twitter question is, what is your favorite food or tradition for Thanksgiving? So tweet your favorite food or tradition, Thanksgiving tradition, to Studio 18, hashtag Studio 18, and look for your tweets scrolling across the bottom line. Let's get to our first guest. Coach, thanks for being here. I know this is a special occasion with it being Egg Bowl week and having you on here with the history that surrounds you and this. So earlier this year, we did a reunion for the 83 team, the 30-year reunion of that team. That was the first team. That was your first year as coach. And coming in, I believe we've been in an 11-year bowl drought. And those are some tough shoes to fill, some expectations that have got to be there to get this program back to where it should be. What kind of expectations did you have for that first year?
I really didn't realize what Ole Miss had gone through prior to getting here. And being a player, we just didn't experience anything like the drought that they really had, or the coaching changes, which one coach had been here for 25 some odd years. And all of a sudden, it's kind of a Russian roulette deal. And Ole Miss is not accustomed to that. And so this was, coming home, being a player, and then being a coach. And I think there's only one other guy who had done this prior to me getting here. And this great tradition here at Ole Miss. I mean, we got into, I was looking for something for these kids to attach themselves to, this football team, because we could not go off campus. We didn't have the money. How about that? And then, so we stayed in the dorm, and then I walked them down here every Saturday, which we only had 2 football games, and came across the Grove. That's how the Grove came about. And then wanted to know what time are you coming through? It has grown since, and is now everybody in the country is trying to copy the Ole Miss and the Grove, which they cannot do.
That's right. Your walk through the Grove was first.
Yes.
What an incredible tradition that is
unbelievable.
Really, and it is. You're right. It has kind of mushroomed into something that is so big nationally, and ESPN talks about it all the time, about just the tradition and pageantry there. So the victory over Mississippi State that year in the Egg Bowl, I think it was that capped a 5-win streak that the team had kind of to close out the season, got the team bowl eligible, and it really has one of the most incredible plays that ever happens. We're gonna put this play up on the screen and show it to the viewers, and we're gonna look at it, and then I want to get your thoughts on it.
Crosby kicking from the 16. Only a 26-yard kick. Crosby a side saddle kicker, waiting for the snap. There it is. It is placed down. There's the kick. It curves. It curves. It is no good. Shreveport, here we come.
So Billy, Warner, Langston, on behalf of the Independence Bowl, extending you an invitation to play the Air Force Academy.
I mean, it's a physical. It's incredible. It's not even doesn't even look possible watching it. I mean, walk us through your emotions when that kick is, or maybe what happened before. What were you thinking before the kick he was about to kick?
Let me kind of kick you back to the whole deal. That Mississippi State was really a good football team, outstanding. Had a quarterback named John Bond, one of the best wishbone quarterbacks there has been. He could deal it and he could run, he could play. And we wasn't even in the ball game. I don't think we had less than 200 yards of total offense. And but you know, thinking about it a little bit and going back, the big decision was, the whole thing was in our favor was who won the coin toss. And I really don't know, but here's my thought on that before the ball game is tornado warnings. And everybody should have left the stadium, but they didn't because it's a State Ole Miss game. And but who has the ball, I think in the fourth quarter, is going to have a chance to be a winner, be in the game. We wasn't really in the game until that happened, until we reversed and got into the fourth quarter. And I think we scored 17 points in the fourth quarter. And from that point, then it goes back to that great kick that didn't happen. But Artie Crosby was a kicker from Mississippi State, and he is really a terrific kicker. He'd kicked 3 prior to this, and his last one was 51 yards. And I think he kicked it with the wind, but it didn't make any difference. But I did call a timeout. The ball was on the left hash mark, and I thought that they would run the ball and get it to the right hash mark, because then you kick the ball against the wind and have a chance for it to blow in from right to left. And didn't happen. My son is there with me on the sideline, Brett, who was a redshirt transfer from Louisiana Tech. And him being a kicker, I mean, he watches all that stuff, and I thought they would, move the ball over there, but he didn't do it, and he left it where it was, and I knew he was going to have to kick it probably to the right uprights for it to get in, but the gust of wind was waiting on, it just happened. It's kind of a freaky deal, but a good deal for us because it made us certainly bowl eligible, and hadn't been to a bowl game in 13 years and had no idea we could go to a bowl game because we were in a point there of 1-5, and the turnaround was just unbelievable. But they never lost faith in themselves as a football team. Yeah, the confidence, it kept getting better and better and better. And we just played hard. And that was the deal that we was all about smoke and mirrors. I mean, that's kind of what we were. But we had the reunion back in, I think, when the Texas A&M ball game here on campus. About 35 kids showed up, I think. And they're still really close. And one running back we had, which was a really outstanding player, named Buford McGee. It's the first time he's been back on campus since 1983. Man. I mean, it just shows you their feelings and their love and the association for Ole Miss and Ole Miss football.
Oh, that is awesome. So I don't know if this trend had started in '83 or not, but I mean, did coaches ice kickers with timeouts then?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you ice him?
Well, I don't remember totally all the thoughts were going through my head. I just knew he was really a terrific kicker, and he had already made 3 prior to this, and I watched him all year, and I knew he was an outstanding place kicker, and he nailed it. He hit it dead into screws. I mean, it was one of these probably like Auburn, Georgia football games. Something's going to happen in the last second. It's not over till it's over. That's the attitude it kind of was and is. And it's, I wouldn't want to do it again.
Yeah.
But it was good for us.
Oh, yeah. I've just never seen anything like. Every time I watch the clip, I try to pick up something new on. I try to figure it out.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
you can't figure that out.
No.
It was we were destined to win
Yeah.
that game.
Yeah.
That was very, very special. So you grew up not far from Mississippi State. You played here, you coached here. So this rivalry, you've got a really unique perspective on it. I mean, how has this rivalry kind of been involved in your life personally, professionally? I mean, what does it mean to you?
It's a huge ball game. Whether or not they have won a football game or not, whatever the records are. And in my opinion, right now, Mississippi State is not a bad football team. They are a dangerous football team, particularly in Starkville, just like Ole Miss is in Oxford. I mean, everybody's better at home.
Yep.
And so growing up 22 miles from Starkville, sold Coca-Colas in the stadium over there a lot, and wanted to go to Mississippi State. And I had a high school coach that was an Ole Miss guy that always brought me to Ole Miss games. And the other part is I wanted to go to Alabama, and I would have gone to Alabama. But somehow I got to Oxford, Mississippi, hadn't regretted it. And so it was, it was a good run, and got a lot of real close friends. We had a lot of success as a player here, and it's one of the better teams that's probably ever gone through the doors here at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
The 59 team.
That's exactly right. In fact, that's what I was about to ask you about. No, there are definitely some Egg Bowls that have gone down to the last minute.
Yes.
59 was not one of them. I think it was 42-0.
Yeah.
That was one of the most lopsided wins in the entire rivalry. And then that team goes on to probably be the greatest team in Ole Miss football history. I mean, that 59 team. What are some of your favorite memories of that team?
Well, it was the 59 team. We didn't know how good we were, really didn't. And we only gave up 21 points that year, totally. And we played both ways. And then there was a rule that if you started a quarter and you came out, you could go back in, I think, but you had to be kill the ball with an out of bounds play or call a timeout. I don't know if you could do that, but it was a quirky deal, and that's the team that we first scored on us was Tulane here in the stadium here at Oxford, and they had a 7-0. We had not been scored on, not even close, and we beat them, I think, something like 58-7. But then the other deal was the Billy Cannon deal. He didn't want to field the ball. That made him the Heisman Trophy winner. And the other one, I think, was maybe Tennessee. And we had beaten them in Crump Stadium in Memphis. So then we had the rematch, and we that's the first time in my playing days that we changed a secondary coverage and went to man free. And I was the free. I ran the alleys to get Cannon on the sweeps and things, but talking to Billy a number of times about the game and whatever, but they really didn't want to play. They voted not to play in the Sugar Bowl in the rematch. Mm-hmm. And they were beat up too. And so everything was in our favor, and we won 21-0. But this team has been recognized by the Southeastern Conference as the team of the decade, which is a huge deal because there's been some great football teams, the Georgias, and of course Alabama hadn't gotten there yet. Coach Brown hadn't really turned that nickel yet. He hadn't gotten there. In fact, we lost a good football player because he passed away in the spring of 82, I think, okay. Going to 83. And had he still been there, I think this kid would have come here because he wanted to play against Coach Bryant, but he wanted to come to Ole Miss. But anyway, he was an unusual person, but this is a lot of things took place, like rambling a little bit, going back to the LSU ball game. They had Diesel created a real stir in LSU and in the football world of having Chinese Bandits, the white team, and Go team. We had the red team, blue team, orange team, but had no idea what the motivation was there. But you didn't know what the motivation was playing in Tiger Stadium on a Halloween night. It's crazy enough even playing in the daytime, but you play there at night to where they can, they pop a Budweiser and brush your teeth. That's just what they do in Louisiana. But it's a fun place to play. It's a fun place to coach. You don't have to motivate your football team. I mean, you can take that bus ride and come around the old River Road route where they've been there since Tuesday in the RVs and things, and they will give you a good dog cussing before you get to your gate.
Oh yeah, it's fun as a fan.
Oh, it really is.
It's as a fan, it's probably the best away trip that you could take as an Ole Miss fan, just because it's a unique experience. That is definitely a great rivalry as well. Well, we're out of time today, but one thing I definitely want to do is I want to bring you back in a couple of months, maybe probably about 6 months, and talk about Chucky. Okay. And so we're gonna bring you back to Studio 18 Live and talk about Chucky. As I believe the 25th anniversary is coming up, and so will be next year, and that would be a really special thing to have you back to talk about. I know that you knew Chucky as well as anybody, so that will be a special show. But thank you so much for the time today and for coming on. We're gonna close the show. We've got one upcoming event tonight. So it is tonight's volleyball. So check out the information on that. And then right after the upcoming events, we're going to go straight into the sneak peek for the season. So the sneak peek for the season, and then 6 p.m. tonight, the full episode will be online at watchrebelvision.com. 6 p.m. tonight, watchrebelvision.com. Check out that episode and have a happy Thanksgiving. Travel safely to the Egg Bowl, and we'll see you next week on Studio 18 Live, presented by Old Venice Pizza Company.
This week on campus, tonight the Ole Miss volleyball team concludes their 2013 season at home inside the Gillum Center against SEC opponent LSU. Match begins at 7 p.m. Ole Miss students, make sure you're signed up for Rebel Rewards by downloading the free app. For more information, visit rebelrewards.com. On behalf of Ole Miss Athletics, we wish you and yours a happy and safe Thanksgiving. For information on this and all other events, visit OleMissSports.com.
Bang, I just spotted the ball today? Huh? All right, man, let's have a great day today. Get your bodies warmed up. Those hamstrings loose. You Southern boys were all cold yesterday, weren't you? Yeah, that 50 degrees about did you in. Coach Hurd, I thought he was going to cry yesterday. It's so cold. Did you see the kind of coat Coach Hurd was wearing yesterday? Like that big old parka. I mean, you thought it was like minus 20. Oh yeah, he expected snow and ice. Oh yeah, oh yeah. He's a bona fide sissy when it comes to weather.
You say y'all boy, receivers ain't the only ones who can't. Receivers ain't the only ones who can't.
Tiger 8.
Thanks for the massage, coach, man. I feel way better. Good job, boy. One clip. Read, lock.
Let's go.
Now you good.
Go. Up. Yeah. Oh. 5-9 got it.
And in our program, we're in a position of taking the next step. And it's going to be little things. It's not the big stuff that separates us from being where we are right now to where we want to be. It's little things. And we got an opportunity, don't we, on Saturday? We're going to take a huge step in this program. All right, let's make sure we're doing those little things between now and kickoff.
They got to win the next 2 to put them in Atlanta, playing in the SEC championship. All right, they didn't have the extra week to prepare. They're going to pull out all stops. All right, just make sure you're just doing your job. If you do your job and you be disciplined, you'll be in good shape. All right?
The physical part, as far as hitting part, is done. We have a good, sharp mental practice tomorrow, and then let's just continue to mentally get ready to go. So bring it up.
Let's take that step.
Little things allow the great teams to finish strong. Finish on 3. 1, 2, 3. Finish. All right, baby.